Hey everyone! So let's talk about habits. You know, those things we all try to build, but they slip through our fingers like sand. You swear you're going to wake up early, hit the gym, and read a book every night, and somehow you end up hitting snooze, skipping the workout, and binge watching another series on Netflix instead. Sound familiar? It's not just you, it's human nature. And today we're diving into how to use psychology to actually make those habits stick. Here's the thing. Your brain wasn't built to make habit building easy. In fact, it's kind of working against you. It's designed to conserve energy, which means it loves routines. It already knows. So when you try to form a new habit, like waking up at 5 a.m. to meditate, because that sounded like a great idea at the time, your brain goes, nah, let's just hit snooze and stay comfy. Why make life hard? But here's the good news. Your brain is also highly adaptable. It's wired for something called neuroplasticity, which means it can rewire itself based on what you do repeatedly. The trick is to make the new habit easy enough and appealing enough for your brain to accept it. Think of it as convincing a stubborn friend to try a new restaurant. Start with small steps and make it enticing. All right, let's get practical. Research shows there are 3 key elements you need to form a habit: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Pretty simple, right? Number 1, cue. This is the trigger that kicks off your habit. It could be something as simple as waking up in the morning or walking into the kitchen after work. Number 2, routine. This is the actual habit. For example, going for a run, reading 10 pages of a book, or making a healthy dinner. Number 3, reward. This is the thing your brain gets as a thank you for completing the routine. Maybe it's a sense of accomplishment, a physical reward like a treat, or even just a break. Here's where a lot of people mess up. They try to overhaul their whole life at once. Instead of focusing on small, repeatable cues and manageable rewards, they try to go from 0 to hero overnight. It's like trying to bench press 200 pounds on day 1 at the gym. Spoiler alert, it won't work. Now, let's talk about the magic of starting small. When it comes to building habits, think tiny, and I mean ridiculously small. Want to start working out? Start by doing 1 push-up a day. Yes, just 1. Sounds almost stupid, right? But here's the genius. By starting small, you're lowering the barrier for your brain to say yes. Take James, for example. Regular guy, just like you. He wanted to get into the habit of flossing, but he could never get it to stick. So instead of committing to a full dental routine every night, he told himself to floss just 1 tooth. That's it, 1 tooth. And what do you think happened? Over time, that 1 tooth became 2, then 3, and before long, flossing his whole mouth every night became second nature. Why? Because the habit was so easy, his brain had no reason to resist it. Here's another pro tip. Set yourself up for success by making your environment habit-friendly. If you want to eat healthier, don't stock your pantry with chips and cookies. It's like expecting to swim without getting wet. It's just not going to happen. Let's look at Sarah's story. She wanted to cut down on her screen time and read more books. But every night she'd lie in bed, phone in hand, scrolling through social media for hours. So she made a small change. She started charging her phone in the living room instead of by her bed. Now when she went to bed, her phone wasn't there to distract her. She replaced the phone with a book, and voila! Suddenly, she found herself reading 10, 20, sometimes 30 pages a night. The point is, your environment is a big deal. If you want to form a new habit, make it easier for yourself to stick to it. Let's face it, motivation alone won't cut it. You need a deeper reason for why you want to build the habit in the first place. You might say you want to work out to be healthier, but that's vague. What does healthier even mean? Instead, get specific. Maybe you want to have more energy to play with your kids, or you want to feel stronger and more confident in your body. Take Danny, for example. He was struggling to build a consistent workout routine. Then he realized it wasn't really about the workout itself. It was about being there for his kids. He wanted to be an active part of their lives for years to come. That mindset shift gave him the motivation to keep going, even when it got hard. Find your why, and the habit becomes a lot easier to stick with. Another sneaky psychological trick is called habit stacking. Basically, you take a habit you already do and stack a new one on top of it. The idea is to build a chain of habits where one naturally leads to the next. Let's say you already have a habit of drinking coffee every morning, because who doesn't? Stack a new habit on top of that. Maybe after you make your coffee, you do 5 minutes of stretching. It's easier to build new habits when you link them to something you're already doing automatically. Mark, a regular guy working a 9-to-5 job, wanted to build a meditation habit, but he could never get himself to sit still and meditate at random times in the day. So he started stacking it with his morning routine. Right after his morning coffee, he'd sit down and meditate for just 2 minutes. Over time, that habit grew, and now he meditates for 20 minutes every day right after his coffee. The coffee cue triggers the meditation routine. And finally, don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Your brain loves rewards, remember? Even a little celebration, like a mental high five or a quick yes, can reinforce the habits. Let's circle back to James, our friend who started with flossing just one tooth. Every time he flossed, he mentally patted himself on the back for sticking with it. That positive reinforcement helped cement the habit in his mind, making it more likely he'd stick with it in the future. So there you have it. Habit building using psychology isn't some mythical, impossible to crack code. It's about understanding how your brain works, starting small and celebrating every win along the way. Whether it's flossing one tooth, reading 10 pages, or doing a push-up, the key is consistency. If James, Sarah, and Danny can do it, so can you. The next time you feel overwhelmed by the idea of building a new habit, remember, start tiny, stack it with something you already do, and celebrate the heck out of your progress, because small changes lead to big results. Now, go crush those habits. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content on how to elevate your life with everyday psychology. We'll see you next time.